actually a surprising traffic jam. Some two cars got collided, and then these two car owners started fighting, some road race scene, which resulted in a jam. So wish you all a very happy Sunday first, and give me one more minute to get back with my pen, the digital pen, and we'll go for the topic literary theory. This is a live class, and once again very sorry for the delay, but that was not caused by me. The road rage issue in Delhi, we all know that. Give me 1 minute. Looking for the pen, and we're also sharing the new link. The last link got cancelled because when as I was having a delay, so my team created another link. The link will be shared with everyone. Till then, you take your pen and paper. अपने pen and paper ले लो. Today we'll be talking about the important details related to author-text connection, then the reader response. In my last live class, we have talked about this, that the role of author plays a great role in author-oriented approaches. Then there are context-oriented approaches, and today we'll be talking about the context plus reader-oriented approaches. So take your pen and paper, give me 1 more minute, and we'll be starting this soon. We have created the new link. The new link is being shared with everyone. And the best thing about this video is that this video will be taken down by same evening, Sunday evening. So you have only 2 to 3 hours to make notes, to read, to understand. And I also want to show this thing to you on camera. This is the literary theory booklet. It is given in the notes also, and this special literary theory notes, or the printed version of the same thing, is shared in online classes also. If you are preparing for Rajasthan set, Madhya Pradesh set, Maharashtra set, Telangana set, or Northeast set, the syllabus of NET and set is same. So if you are the part of the online classes, you will be getting this today evening. If you are not registered in online batch, this is the time. Do you know there is 30 plus days left for your exam and you can get a JRF. We are going to upload the toppers video where one of my student cracked JRF in 22 days, and then we'll be uploading another video where one of my JRF cracked JRF in 15 days. Wait for those two things, and let's get ready. We're going to start. As I think the link has not been shared yet, only 6 people are live, so I understand because most of the people were ready with the first link. So the moment link gets shared with everyone, because all those students who are waiting for us, they should have a proper understanding, proper chance to be with us. And once the new link gets shared with everyone, soon we'll be having 200, 300 students live. Repeating once again, this video will be taken down. ये वीडियो शाम को हम unlisted कर देंगे या हटा देंगे. Simple reason, we don't want everyone to know what you know. You are our first priority in competition. We want you to win first. तो जो sincere students हैं वो आज ही notes बना लेना. All those who are preparing for state exams, Rajasthan set primarily, Maharashtra set, Telangana set, Northeast set, we are preparing you in the same batch. The NET and set syllabus is same. Hello Simran, offline batch. This is good, Simran. This shows that you are a sincere student. You are covering the theories in the offline batch also, and you are not missing any chance of learning, even in online. Proud of you. So the students have started joining, and once again, A very happy Sunday to everyone. And as I told that there was a reason of delay, I couldn't reach to my office at a particular time. So now we are going to talk about the theories, literary theories. People are scared of it. So when I was a student, the student who had no knowledge, I used to think that English literature net is simply related to English literature and T.S. Eliot is the last writer. After T.S. Eliot, everything is finished, no English literature. So only Chaucer to T.S. Eliot. Then I didn't know Anglo-Saxons, Anglo-Normans or the contemporary of Chaucer. So I used to think that only 50, 60 writers are there. Chaucer, Shakespeare, Spencer, Milton. Only the big writers. But then when I started preparing for net in a proper way, I was shocked. I was shocked why people are reading African literature. Why people are talking about Canadians, Germans, French, Russians, and then what is this theory? Why should we study theories related to it? Why a writer writes the book? What he thinks, what he writes is a different thing. It is never possible that your own imagination gets printed in the book. What you write and what you think are always two different things. And in fact, when I started reading theories, theories told me that the writer himself develops the idea of writing while writing. लिखते लिखते समझ में आता है कि क्या लिखना चाहते हो. आई वॉज लाइक ये क्या है, ये तो एकदम ऊपर से गया. फिर समझ में आया कि नो रीडर इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट रीडर. A reader brings lots of preconceived notions, ideas, mindset. So at that time, I also used to do like this with literary theory. What is this? Why I'm not getting? Why it's passing by? So well, it's been very long, and as it was my weakness, literary theory was my weakness. I would get scared. I would hate it, and I would never understand reading, trying to read, understanding. I paid a lot of attention, a lot of efforts, and finally I'm fine. I'm confident in these theories. And today, as in my last live class, we already have talked about the author-oriented approach, context-oriented approach. If you remember, a scholar from Boston University, he was there in the live class. He praised me, told me that I have some knowledge, and I thanked him in live class. So I was thinking this thing, that everybody is trying to be the part of literary theory, being, understanding this. My way is that don't read it as a theory. Feel it, become the part of it. Try to assimilate your identity with those theories. For example, there's a beautiful line. Don't try to dictate your author. Try to become the author. Try to feel the author. So when a writer writes, when a text is written, when a reader does something, just relate it. So let's go for the today's topic. It's Sunday, and I wish you all a very happy Sunday. And I also want to tell you guys, this session will be taken down. ये live class हटा दी जाएगी. All the new students, those who have joined right now, by the evening. 1:30 बज रहे हैं, 1:30 हो रहे हैं, 7 o'clock we will be removing this video. So make sure you don't miss anything. So let's go for Sabi sir, please help me with the page. Is it here? This one? Background? And the page, right? Color. And the page. This one is suitable for the students. White one. Okay, thank you, Sabi sir. Sabi sir is with me on Sundays. So, guys, we're going to talk, and let's take a pen, starting with red. I hope it's visible to you. I'll be reading your comments. Literary theory, and today we are going to talk about reader's relation with the text. We have studied writer's relation with the text. Now we're going to study reader's relation with the text. So you can simply put the title in your notebooks, Reader Response Theory. So today's title, today's topic that we are going to cover is Reader Response Theory. As I told you that if you are registered in online classes, in online batch, you will be getting these printouts. This one that we also give in notes, you will be getting this printout of literary theory and this one. And you will be finding all the theories with their terminologies, their writers clearly mentioned. By the evening when we will take this video down, We'll be sharing the printouts with you. So make sure you're ready. Reader response theory. Now, my dear friends, this theory is also called reception aesthetics. Please remember that. This theory is also called reception aesthetics. How many of you are watching right now? 96. Have you ever seen anyone teaching literary theory live? Because mugging up and then going in front of camera is different thing. Coming live is something different. Reception aesthetics. Now see, the question is, we have talked about the role of writer. Writer encodes the message which goes in the text. Text is a kind of puzzle which is decoded by the reader. Decoded by the reader. And then we studied intentional fallacy. We studied affective fallacy by W.K. Wimsatt, Beardsley. We talked about multiple issues of understandings. We went for heresy of paraphrasing by Clint Brooks. We also talked about Alan Tate's intention extension concept. Then we took reference of multiple meanings, plurality of meanings by I. Richards. And we also talked about William Emerson last time. In last live, we have talked about these things. Now, the point is, author is everything. Author is connected to text. Author encoded everything he did. Author's role, then textual analysis. Textual analysis means reading the text without any reference of author. So we also did that. We went for a reading of the text where the author was dead. Death of the author. Author is not required. We have studied this. ये सब हमने पढ़ लिया है. That's why I'm not explaining this. Why I'm not explaining these things in detail? Because we already have done this in the last live class. So I'm just giving you a recap. पुराने टीवी चैनल्स में आपने देखा होगा ना, नाटक आते थे तो क्या होता था, पिछले हफ्ते आपने देखा. तो I'm just brushing up that we have talked about these things. अब आता है सवाल. Now what we are going to do today? So we have the text. Okay, fine. Author is dead. Okay, fine. Then what is the role of the reader? If author is dead, so author is not there to tell the meaning of the text. Author is not involved in the story. Textual analysis doesn't need the author. Then what is the role of the reader? So some people, those who belong to the theory, they came with the idea that the death of the author is actually known as the birth of the reader. Birth of the reader. Death of the author is also known as birth of the reader, because if author is not important, who is going to read the text? Who will do the textual analysis without the presence of the author? Critic. Critic is the reader. Now, what is the role of the reader? Because everybody talked about first authorial approach, author-oriented theories, fine. Then they went for context-oriented theories, fine. Then they went for text in the context, means formalist studies, fine. But none of these theories, structuralism, post-structuralism, deconstruction, they didn't talk about reader. They were not concerned with the reader. This is also an important person. You can't ignore him. The birth of the reader. Plus, who gives the meaning of the text? You will say, sir, author. Author gives the meaning of the text. But then what we have studied is author is not important. Author doesn't give you the meaning of the text. Then how do you get the meaning? Remember my lectures on formalism and structuralism. The structural approach creates a meaning. The structure itself gives you a meaning. Remember, chai. What is chai? Chai is not independent creation of nature. प्रकृति में चाय अपने आप बनी हुई कभी नहीं मिलेगी. कभी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि पानी गर्म था, हवा से उड़ के चाय की पत्ती पड़ गई, हवा से उड़ के चाय में चीनी पड़ गई और एक खौला दिया, टेम्परेचर हो गया, दूध आ गया. नहीं. Then, but chai है. Present world, chai है. So what is chai? The tea is actually a result of a construct. Sugar, water, tea leaves, ginger, cardamom, some temperature, boiling temperature. Then having these things, you found the structure of the tea. Now, technically, who found the structure of the T? Who did that? It's the reader. Reader reads it. It's the reader who has to understand the structure. So, writer simply encoded the meaning in the text, but he is dead. Who is decoding that meaning? Reader. Now, reader has his own mind, his own understanding, so he cannot understand the writer's idea only. He will mix up his own approach. Technically, the reader becomes second author. Please write down this thing. रीडर को सेकंड ऑथर भी कहते हैं. Reader is a second author. When a student and teacher are talking to each other, the student also teaches the teacher. हम आपसे भी सीखते हैं. आज का विनीत पांडे वो विनीत पांडे नहीं है जिसने सिर्फ नेट क्वालिफाई किए, जेआरएफ क्वालिफाई किए. ये वो विनीत पांडे जो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ाने जाता था. इतने सारे नेट बैचेस, आई हैव टॉट सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स, जेएनयू, डीयू टॉपर्स, जेआरएफ टॉपर्स, गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट. They have reformed me. My today's knowledge, my today's personality, it's only because I have learned from you students. You have taught me directly, indirectly. Some of you are doing PhD. I discuss your topic, I got knowledge. Some of you have presented poetries, you discuss something, I got knowledge. Some of you asked me a question and made me think, and I got knowledge because of you. I should take a moment. Thank you so much. आप लोगों ने बनाया मुझे भी नहीं पता था कि लिटरेरी थ्योरी यहाँ तक आएगी. So if I say that my second teacher, students, so it's right. अब आप बोलोगे how reader gives the meaning to the text. See, yes, last class also I asked a question. I'm asking the question again. When the text and the reader has a relationship. Now, what is the relationship of the text and the reader? Reader has to read it to understand. अब किताब को पढ़ने वाला जो रीडर है उसका काम क्या है? What is his task? His task is to read that thing, to understand that thing. So who is a reader? A zero mind person with no knowledge at all? Now let's make it very interesting with this line. Last NET exam there was a question to the reader, to the competent reader, to the competent reader. Are you able to get this line? To the reader, to the competent reader, I hereby produce my life history. The lines are taken from. Let's see how many of you answered this thing in the comments. The lines have been taken from. All the online students who have actually taken my lectures seriously will answer this. To the reader, to the competent reader, I hereby produce my life history. Last NET exam question. Normally, if you remember my lectures on romanticism, romantic critics, you will be able to answer that. Okay, waiting for the answer and also feeling bad. 146 students watching, only 50 people liking it. Others are saving time and money and energy. Come on, guys. Okay, no answers. Great, great, great. So if you're not able to answer, then feel happy because in 1 minute you'll be able to answer that. In 1 minute, you'll be understanding this. This line comes from Thomas D. Quincy's Confessions of an English Opium Eater. It's a question of last NET exam. और लाइक कर दो, 150 में से 50 ने लाइक किया है. ऐसे कोई नहीं पढ़ाता लाइव लिटरेरी थ्योरी, इसी पे लाइक कर दो. सी, so comes from Thomas D. Quincy. Famous work, Confessions of an English Opium Eater, of an English opium eater. Opium is अफीम. Opium eater. So ये बंदा अफीम बहुत खाता था, ये अपनी कन्फेशंस कर रहा है. इंपॉर्टेंट ये नहीं कि अफीम खाता था, कभी इससे इंस्पायर हो जाओ. No, this is not important. Important ये है. What is important? He says to the reader, then he says to the competent reader. I hope you have written that. So, according to D. Quincy, when he wrote his autobiography, why did he mention this thing? Reader, to the reader, or to the competent reader? Now, who is the reader? Who is the competent reader? Tell me, what is the difference? Who is the reader? Who is the competent reader? Competent reader. I'll try to have your comments in my another phone so that I don't have to leave the camera again and again. मैं आपकी कम पढ़ने की कोशिश करता हूँ यहाँ पे. तो बताओ कौन है कॉम्पिटेंट रीडर? एक होता है रीडर, एक होता है कॉम्पिटेंट रीडर. लाइव क्लास में आएगा ना, इसमें नहीं है, लाइव क्लास में तो नहीं आ रहा. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. एनीवे चलो, सो आई बिलीव आपको आता होगा. नाउ रीडर इज एनीबडी हु कैन रीड. Anybody who can read. A 10th class student can read. He's a reader. So here the reader or somebody who can read, it's not that literary reading thing. In secondary language, competent reader is somebody who has understanding of literary standards. Literary standards. When you make a sarcastic remark, when you make a joke, sarcastic thing, and students are not able to understand, it means they are not literary interpreters, literary readers, technically competent reader. So when he says, I'm going to tell my story to people, he says, I want a competent reader. Now, competent reader, can we say that we have a perfect definition? Can we say that we have a perfect definition of competent reader? As there are some people, they have written that's the one who can understand. Everybody can understand. If you have no author, so every reader will come and say, I also understood, I also understood. When I teach in my offline class and I teach literary theory, I ask everyone, did you understand? So they say, yes sir, we have understood. But then the best thing about offline class is I see the face. Then I see their faces. So with their faces, I understand that they are saying we have understood, but not. In short, there is no guarantee of 100% understanding. What if you understood only 90%? What if you understood only 110%? Something more? गाना सुना है ना, मैंने जो ना कहा तूने सुन लिया. तो कैसे सुन लिया? आपने वो सुना जो आप सुनना चाहते थे. आपने वो नहीं सुना जो वो कह रहा है. हो सकता है हीरो जो है मन में बैठा है. You know, there is a singer, there is a beautiful song. मैंने जो ना कहा वो तूने सुन लिया. What if the hero actually wanted to say कि get me some cigarette? But hero ने सुन लिया कि घूमने की बात कर रहा है. Maybe he's talking about something romantic. So technically, when the reader says मैंने सुन लिया, वो अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग की बात कर रहा है. The writer is still, it's not possible to comprehend the writer, to understand the writer. Let's make it easy. They go for Wolfgang Iser. He came with the idea that every writer looks for or searches ideal reader. सबको चाहिए ideal reader. Let's see how many of you are actually seriously preparing for NET exam, and if you are my online student, how many of you have actually prepared my lectures. So let's see who answers. Reader, I married him. Where do we get this line? Question of NET exam also. One of the most famous lines. Let's read your comments. Reader, I married him. Come on. वेरी गुड. वत्सला बहुत बढ़िया. भवानी, अक्षया, हाँ तुम लोगों ने क्लास अच्छे से पढ़ी है, शाबाश. गॉड ब्लेस यू. बहुत बढ़िया. सो रीडर, आई मैरिड हिम. द लाइन्स आर एक्चुअली टेकन फ्रॉम जेन आयर. ये जेन आयर से लाइन है. फ्रॉम जेन आयर, रिटन बाय शैलॉट. Don't read her like Charlotte. Some people call her Charlotte. Some people, like me also, when I was just a student, we would call her Charlotte. ये चारलात नहीं है, Charlotte है. Charlotte Bronte. Famous work, Jane Eyre, published 1847. Mad Woman in Attic is a most important concept taken from the book. The book inspired the stereotypes of feminism in Victorians. Bertha Mason, then prequel by Jean Rhys, White Sargasso Sea. There are so many things related to this book. So if you don't know this book, you are not prepared for NET. I'm not offending. टीचर हूं, सच कह रहा हूं. अगर आपको ये पता ही नहीं है कि बुक कौन सी है, तो फिर आपको बर्था मैसन नहीं पता है, मैड वुमन इन एटिक नहीं पता है, सांद्रा गिलबर्ट सूजन गुबार नहीं पता है आपको, अलॉन्ग विद दैट विक्टोरियन फीमेल स्टीरियोटाइप्स आपको नहीं पता है, एंड देन आपको फॉइल नहीं पता, और ये सब नेट के क्वेश्चन है। हेलन बर्न्स इसकी फॉइल कैरेक्टर होती है जेन आयर की। अगर आपको ये बुक नहीं पता है तो दिस इज द डिफरेंस, यू डोंट नो द बुक एंड दोज हु आर प्रिपेयरिंग विद अस दे आर हियर। वैसे तो थोड़ा सा प्रमोशन नहीं करना चाहिए पर कर लेते हैं। ये कौन सा है? उत्तराखंड, छत्तीसगढ़। ये इतना नॉलेज एक्सपीरियंस कहाँ से है? मल्टीपल एग्जाम्स। छत्तीसगढ़, उत्तराखंड। ऑल द उत्तराखंडीज कैन लाइक द वीडियो फॉर दिस थिंग, ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स छत्तीसगढ़िया सबसे बढ़िया कैन लाइक दिस थिंग। लेट्स गो फॉर मोर। सारे तो पता नहीं टाइम होगा नहीं होगा। अरे एक और उत्तराखंड, हाँ उत्तराखंड में 2 बार हूँ। वनक्कम गाइज, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ तमिलनाडु। माई center was in Chennai, Kaide Millet College. Why do I remember that college also? Because the students called me Ravi, Jayam Ravi. They thought I'm Jayam Ravi. What an insult to that guy. This is Karnataka. I was in Bengaluru. I went for Vanarghatta. For the first time in my life, I saw so many tigers and lion. This is Savitribai Phule Pune University, Maharashtra set. Jai Maharashtra. Also one of my first visit to Goa to attempt this exam. And here we go for Dharti Dhorari. Rajasthan said, I am 2 times topper. Second certificate I didn't take because that was not needed. I was already a net. So I'm trying to get the second certificate. Once I get it, I'll be showing it to you. In short, ये और बहुत सारे हैं. इतने सारे experiences बोलो, this is very important. Don't miss it. Now let's get back to topic. When she said, reader, I married him. Who is him? A basic literary question. Who is him? किससे शादी की? बेसिक लिटरेरी क्वेश्चन। पलाक्षी मुझे चिढ़ा रही है। पलाक्षी कह रही है सर मैं गोवा 2 साल रही हूं, आई एम जेलस। वेरी गुड अलीमा, अलीमा वेरी गुड। रोचेस्टर, सो दैट वाज अ लिटरेरी क्वेश्चन ओनली, हु इज हिम, बट दैट वाज लिटरेरी स्टडीज क्वेश्चन। नाउ दिस इज लिटरेरी थ्योरी क्वेश्चन। व्हेन शी सेज रीडर आई मैरिड हिम, शी इज एक्चुअली एक्सेप्टिंग द प्रेजेंस ऑफ अ रीडर इन अ नॉवेल. Also a reference which can be connecting it to metafiction. The point is, who was that ideal reader of Jane, the writer of Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte? When Charlotte Bronte said, reader, I married him, what kind of reader she was actually expecting? कैसा reader चाहिए था? Here comes the question, what Wolfgang Iser says, ideal reader, someone who could actually understand the mind of Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre was not a purely emotional girl. She was a rebel. Then that shocking time, which is also the part of trauma theory studies, if your teachers have taught you. Trauma theory studies. Alamgir Hashmi from Pakistan has done great studies on these things. A trauma when she got locked in the room and after that she became a rebel. Somebody who can actually understand that. The emotion of Jane Eyre. She's talking to that person. So who is that ideal reader? The ideal reader who could actually feel Jane Eyre. So when Jane Eyre says, reader, I married, she's looking for ideal reader. Now this is the term by Wolfgang Iser. Confused nahi hona. This is the term by Wolfgang Iser. JRF चाहिए ना? तो देखो double JRF कैसे है. This man who talks about ideal reader has used a reference. Implied reader. Focus on today's lecture. You will never need any help for reader response theory. आज ही clear हो जाएगा. Implied reader. So ideal reader is implied reader. What does a writer wants? Ideal reader, implied writer. But now, is it possible to understand someone 100%? No. 99%, 101%, but not 100%. Because you are you, I am me. Helen Sicko, when she talked about feminism and said that the female characters have always been portrayed by a woman, wife of Bath was criticized because Chaucer was a male. All the women who tried to break their marriages, all the women who tried to fall in love with someone else, they were called sluts, they were called prostitutes. Why? Because the writers were male. So if you cannot understand the emotion of that lady, how can you portray that? In Hamlet, we say Gertrude is a villain. Gertrude and Claudius kills father of Hamlet. But do we have the lines where Gertrude actually defends herself? A wife killing her own husband is not an ordinary thing. Hamlet goes, criticizes his mother, frailty, thy name is woman. But क्या बोलती Gertrude? Gertrude is not given lines to defend herself. And that was the reason. Again, a question of net exam. Margaret Atwood wrote the famous work Gertrude Talks Back, feminist study. Helen Siku has talked about this thing. She talks about this thing and says that man who says we understand women, they can never understand women at no level. They cannot. So if somebody is crying in front of you, you go and say that I understand you. You can simply understand 50%, 60%, but not 100%. All the girls should like this video for this thing. कोई तो है जो तुम्हारा दर्द समझता है, राइट? लाइक करो यार, क्या कंजूसी कर रहे हो? चलो देखो तो, देखे तो गर्ल्स लाइक कर रहे नहीं कर रहे? दिखा भी सकते हो आप सबको कि देखो हमारे विनीत सर बता रहे हैं कि हमें नहीं समझ सकते, राइट? नाउ अब आती है बात दैट कैन वी गेट दिस आइडियल रीडर? नो, implied reader cannot be, so it's impossible. Implied reader, ideal reader is not possible. It's impossible. Now the second term of reader response. I hope you understood this concept. Now the second term is simply the expectations. Expectations of a reader, also known as horizons of expectation. When I will be giving the PDF notes, इसके PDF notes जब आपको ऑनलाइन क्लास में मिलेंगे वहां पे लिखा होगा horizons करके, horizons of expectation. When you are a reader and you do a reading, this is the text, no author, no name, no title, you are a reader. Then why will you buy this text? Why will you purchase the book? If the book has no title, no writer, no names, why will you read the book? बताओ. Horizons of expectation के अंदर. Technically, have you ever done something like this? That you went to a bookshop, you closed your eyes, and then you were like, give me some book, I want to read. And please change the cover page, please remove the name of the author, just lines only. Do you do that? No, nobody does that. No, nobody does that. So technically, what makes you a reader? Your curiosity. You want to read something. So when you read the title of the text, or the cover page of the text, or any other information about the text or the author, you start expecting. You start expecting means if the reader has to read the text and he knows the title. So what is the role of a title in the text? What is the role of the title in the book? Tell me. I'll take 10 seconds, Polo, to see your answer. पलक ने बहुत अच्छा आंसर बोला है. पलक ने बोला है रीडिंग शुड बी डन विदाउट एनी प्री कंसीव्ड नोशंस. वेरी गुड पलक. बट टेल मी, इज इट पॉसिबल टू रीड अ बुक विदाउट एनी प्री कंसीव्ड नोशंस? टाइटल क्या करता है? व्हाट डज द टाइटल डू इन योर बुक? दीपक मिश्रा आपने आंसर दिया है, एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दिया. एक्सप्लेन करो, एक्सप्लेन. अ टाइटल गिव्स यू आइडिया अबाउट द टेक्स्ट. यू वांट टू बाय शूज, you go to the market, it is written the shoe shop, you enter in the shop. Shoe shop tells you what is inside. What if it is written shoe shop and you get inside and you find sweets and they say, sir, sorry, we forgot to change the board? Is it possible? Yes, it can be possible that somebody has forgotten to remove the board. It's a newly opened shop. Technically, your title gives you the idea of the text. You are at a railway station, passing time. You are at the bookshop. There is a 10-hour train journey. You want to read a book. How do you read the book? How do you get the book? You look at those books. One book, चाणक्य के 10 मंत्र, ऐसे बुक्स मिलते हैं ना रेलवे स्टेशन पे. अनदर बुक 100 तरीकों से करोड़पति बने, तीसरी बुक इन उपायों से महिला आपके वश में आ जाएगी, चौथा बुक दुश्मनों को हराने के तरीके। ऐसी ऐसी बुक्स बिकती है ट्रेन पे, मनोहर कहानियां, उसमें भी 4-5 चीजें होती हैं। तो हाउ डू यू बाय द बुक? सपोज करो वहां पे बुक लिखी है मक्खियों से छुटकारा कैसे पाए, एंड यू आर एक्चुअली फेड अप विद दोज थिंग्स, सो देयर इज अ बुक हाउ टू गेट रिड ऑफ द फ्लाइज। You purchase the book, you open the book, you read it, and it is written with one hand you eat the food, with second hand fly the flies. Technically, the title gives you the idea of the text, and your reading becomes biased or prejudiced, क्योंकि आपको पहले ही idea है title क्या है. So if you will read the text, you will read it under the mindset that this book is this. Imagine you go to buy a book, you want to read suspense stories. The title of the book is Khoon Ka Badla Khoon, Blood for Blood. And you want to read those kind of fictions, crime, thrillers. You purchase the book, you are in the train, you have taken your Pepsi, your popcorns, and now you want to start your reading journey. And you know it's a suspense story. I must read it. And when you open your page, and they say blood donation is the greatest thing. When you donate the blood, we can give you 100, 300 unit blood back. It's blood for blood. And you find out it's a book dealing with social issues, the blood bank. Then your reading got biased because the title gives you. What happens in the trailer? The trailers are good, the movies are flop. So technically, the title, the cover page, sometimes they have heroines, nudity, guns on the cover page, to tell you the book has these things, just like the posters, YouTube thumbnails, fake YouTube thumbnails, the greatest war in the cricket history. I saw one thumbnail like that, the greatest war in the cricket history, and Shahid Afridi was having a tank, some Indian cricketer was having a AK-47. Why did they do that? To attract. So if you watch that video having this kind of idea, technically you're biased. Then any other information, someone tells you read the book because the book is the best book. Misreading. मेरा अपना एक स्टूडेंट है, उसने वर्ल्ड लिटरेचर करके बुक डाल रखी है, टोटल विकिपीडिया कॉपी है, टोटल विकिपीडिया कॉपी है, और लिटरेरी थ्योरी के नाम पर तो उसने क्या किया है वो क्या ही बताऊं. बट पीपल बाय इट. व्हाई? Because they are looking for world literature, so they find a cover page of world literature, but there is no world literature, there is no literary theory. One of my students in offline batch was carrying that book. When I saw that book and the name, I said I have taught him, and then I checked. I really wanted to check what he has written in literary theory and culture studies and world literature, and there was nothing. Just because you talk about some writers from other countries, that doesn't become world literature. You can study writers from Uganda. Nobody knows that. Technically, don't be getting biased. So horizons of expectation is when your reading is getting biased. The finest example from literary theory, the famous work, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Those who don't know this book, my dear friends, you are not prepared for exam. You have to prepare. ये आपको पढ़ना है. These are the classics. Without these exams कभी clear नहीं होंगे. Edward Albee. People purchased the book. People thought that what a great book, what a great book. We should buy that book. Virginia Woolf is there. When they read the book, they found just 1% reference of Virginia Woolf. Nothing else. It's a story of a husband-wife, not connected directly. The same writer who actually misguided people with the title and made a lot of money, she went for another title. Who is Sylvia? Everybody thought that Sylvia Plath, the greatest feminist writer, it is the story about Sylvia Plath. Everybody purchased the book. And then what did they find? They read the title, they purchased the book, and then they found that Sylvia is the name of a bakri, goat, a she-goat. She-goat. Sylvia is the name of the... So technically this is how... And you know, one more thing I must tell you. I was about to buy a book, reading a title only. So reading the title, I was about to buy a book. The book was written by Janki Lenin. My husband, and other animal. I thought this book must be dealing with domestic violence. A woman is comparing her husband with animal. I almost picked that book. I was about to buy that book. I was happy that I will have a fresh feminist work. I'll be teaching it to my students. Then I was in the queue to pay the bill. मैं line में लगा हुआ था bill देने के लिए. So there 3-4 people were in front of me. So I thought let's read something. I read the first page. I read one middle page. I read the last page. And then I found that it is a love story. It's a love story. Her husband was a forest officer. So she is talking that me and my husband will live in a cottage in the forest. The cute animal, see, the pet dogs and cats and some deer, musk deer, rabbits. They're talking about the cute animals. So this is what we call horizons of expectation. Now comes the another idea, the community. This is also known in, as I'll be giving you the PDF notes of these theories. You'll be getting these notes. Those who are online students, आपको ये दोनों PDFs आज मिल जाएंगे. You'll be getting these both. You'll be finding it there. It is written as interpretive community. Your readership, if you are a reader, can we say that you are a reader with a fixed thought, a particular thought, a biasedness? Reading the text, what if your readership is already biased? Your readership has a direct influence of your background. Simple. English literature has a lot of books which has pornographic content, vulgarity, obscenity. But we can't introduce those books in graduation level literature because we come from a country where we follow moralities. So we can't do that. When you go to take admission in graduation first year, जब आपका graduation first year में admission होता है in English literature, when you take admission in graduation first year English literature, and suppose a teacher like me tells your parents that sir, English literature is a great subject, sir. Sir, we will tell them that there is no caste issue. Love marriages should be done. We will also teach them that being lesbian, being gay, being bisexual, transgender is all good, sir. We will tell them that, sir, we will be teaching them Philip Roth, the greatest vulgar writer. We will be teaching them G. Janet, sir, rapist by choice. आपके family क्या बोलेगी? What will your family say? No. We want Hindi literature. We want Sanskrit literature. No English literature. I used to work for someone, my boss, he would tell people, telling me and my students, that these English literature people are bringing immoralities, always talking about non-veg things. But this is not our fault. If you are studying European literature, English literature, they have a broader mind than us. So, what will happen if I actually tell your parents that, sir, we'll be teaching them all types of literature, the good one also, the bad one also. They will say, no, we don't want that. In short, our interpretive community will control our reading habits. The best example, satanic verses written by Salman Rushdie is banned in India, in Indian subcontinent and in the Gulf countries. So wherever we have the Muslim population, Salman Rushdie, when he wrote satanic verses, he knowingly, willingly targeted the community, targeted the religion and insulted them. Now we come from a land where we respect all the religions, where we love all the religions. So it's obvious that we don't want these kind of books. And technically, again, we are not independent reader. We are biased reader. If you are a reader, you should not think about anything. But that is not possible. So there are so many issues in readership that even a reader cannot avoid that. Because if you say that, sir, I want to be an independent reader, you can't. Because becoming a reader itself is in the language of structuralism, it's a construct. Right? Today's language, where I'm very much comfortable talking about anything, when I used to teach literature for very early age, first time, I would get nervous teaching the lines talking about some pornographic things. Now I'm fine. I'm full of confidence. I teach anything. So my teaching standards is a construct. Right? Now, the next theory. This is very, very important. Transactional analysis. लिटरेरी थ्योरी कोई आपको लाइव नहीं पढ़ाएगा, सब कैमरे के पीछे छुप के पढ़ाएंगे, क्योंकि सबको पता है कि उन्हें भी उतना ही आता है जितना वो बता रहे हैं. ऑफलाइन बैच में पढ़ा पढ़ा के these things have become one of the strongest things. Transactional analysis. इनफैक्ट अगर कोई पढ़ा भी रहा हो यहां से देख के पढ़ा रहा होगा. Transactional analysis is the text and the reader create each other. Text and the reader, they are interconnected. I have a question from all of you and I'm sure you can answer because in last live also I asked this question. Empty stomach, how many mangoes you can eat? खाली पेट कितने आम खा सकते हो? चलो बताओ. 168 स्टूडेंट्स अलाइव. 168 लाइक कितने करें देखे तो? लाइक ने अभी 20 लोगों ने लाइक नहीं किए. So all those who have attended the last live class, smart people. मुकेश ने नहीं क्लास अटेंड की. मुकेश ने कहा है 40 आम खा सकता हूं. भाई 10 तो हो जाएंगे, मत कर. रवि पांडे 5 आम, 5-4 तो मैं भी निपटा दूंगा. आई लव आम. So all those who are saying only one bite, they are the real students. All those who are saying one, please mention the bite. Be specific. It's a competition. One bite. What is the question? Empty stomach, how many mangoes you can eat? One bite. One slice you have chewed, you have swallowed, your stomach is no more empty. अगर आपने एक स्लाइस खा लिया और वो स्लाइस आपके पेट में है तो आपका पेट तो खाली नहीं है. खाली नहीं है तो दूसरा तीसरा चौथा आम कहां से आएगा दोस्तों? अब देखो क्या है. रीडर टेक्स्ट को पढ़ने आ रहा है. So what did we say? We said reader comes from a community. Reader के ऊपर caste, culture, religion, all those pressures are there. So reader is biased. Let's assume a reader with zero knowledge. Let's assume a reader is a fresh reader, no knowledge, zero knowledge. And he's going to read the text, he doesn't know. He has no idea of the text, no title, no books, no reference, no author, and not even biased. So he reads the text. Page number 1, he has read. Now when he reads the page number 2, can you say the same reader is reading the page number 2? Are you the same person you were yesterday? No. Your age got increased by 1 day. Are you the same person you were 6 months back? No. If the reader is 0 and reads page 1, try to understand. Now when he reads page 2, he is having knowledge of page 1. So when he will read page 2, he will read it under the knowledge of page 2. Then he will have the knowledge of page 2, he will read the page 3. He will have the knowledge of page 3, he will read the page 4. So the one who is reading the page 4 is not this reader, is this reader. Who is developing this reader? The text. कहां से knowledge आ रहा है इसको? Text से. फिर text को कौन पढ़ रहा है? ये. Text खुद को पढ़वा रहा है. Text is making the reader. आ गया, हो गया सरदर्द. Transactional analysis. We are interconnected with each other. The reader and the text have a relationship where the text involves the reader in the reading process and then gets the text read. अगर नहीं समझ में आया कोई बात नहीं, don't worry. The moment you will be having the PDF notes, read these things, you'll be able to understand. And if you're in online, private live में questions पूछ लेना, note कर लो, note all your questions. I hope you understood transactional analysis. यहाँ पे कुछ चीज़ों का आपको याद रखना है, important चीज़ें. Stanley Fish, ये याद रखो. Is there a text in class? Wolfgang Iser, ये पढ़ लो. Wolfgang Iser, ये पढ़ लो. Hans Robert Joss, ये writers याद रखना. Remember these writers. Now, as we are going to sum up, simple thing. If you are a Rajasthan set student preparing for Rajasthan set or Maharashtra set, Northeast set, Telangana set, all these exams are falling in the month of March. UGC NET exam falling in the month of March. The syllabus is same, timing is same. So we are taking admissions for this thing. You can contact us on given numbers 8810289637 WhatsApp. I personally handle. इस WhatsApp पे आपको मेरा reply मिलेगा 8810289637. You can call 8587035827 to be the part of it. We have given toppers और ऐसे पढ़ाएंगे तो और टॉपर बनाने आसान है हमारे लिए. Thank you so much.